anyway, we've got a pretty tight schedule. For those that you don't know me, I'm Tim Hens, highway superintendent / county engineer, even though I've never really been designated.
Airport owner.
Jay never felt me worthy enough to give me a different title, so I'm still the highway superintendent. But in the interest of saving time, I'm going to be your MC today, do a few introductions. First person that is here to honor Jay is the Honorable Jack Marren from Ontario County. Jack is the legislative chairman there. I do know Jack from several years of Congressional Service Academy review boards. Jack and I were always on the same team interviewing prospective candidates for the military academies, which is near and dear to my heart. And Jack?
And thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to take my mask off. Hopefully no one will call the authorities. Thank you. 6 feet distance. Very good, Jay. You've learned. Certainly you probably created the policies. So real quick, I had a scenic route. I didn't come in directly from Ontario County. I actually came in from Steuben, Livingston County area, but a nice ride. I had to enter the Genesee County line, town of Pavilion. Actually, there's a roadblock. Yes, officer, what can I do for you? License. Where are you from? Ontario County. Oh, Ontario County, huh? You know, we don't have a quarantine here in this county. But what we do have is an economic revival. How long do you anticipate being here, sir? Probably 2 to 3 hours. That'll be $300. You have to spend $300 taxable dollars in this county within 3 hours. And he showed me the mandate signed, County Manager Marie Gsell. I thought there was only one Lord Vader.
You're a pair.
Jay is certainly, I'm here actually two hats, certainly part of the Finger Lakes region and part of the control room with Jay as well, and certainly many of my colleagues out here as well, but an opportunity as president of NYSAC to recognize Jay. And I know this past Monday, Jay and Steve Aquarial did a interview, and Jay was very open and responsive to Steve's questions. Very thankful of NYSAC, what NYSAC has done for all counties in New York State, regardless of the size. And so I'd like to, I'm going to shorten the program. Certainly I know your lovely wife is here. Unfortunately, hey Marie, I forgot, I usually bring a medal for the wives, but I don't have a medal for you because you should receive one. There is a coffee cup in here. That's for you from NYSAC. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have a cup of coffee with your husband. And I would encourage you to not as well. So there is a couple coffee cups in here. We have a certificate of recognition, Marie Gsell, County Manager, Genesee County, Stein by Steve Aquario, Jack Marren.
Oh, all right.
Now we know Steve is certainly a very quiet individual, never gives his opinion. So the first words, whisper, are you capable? Whisper words of wisdom. So here you go, sir. Your 2 coffee cups, a bag for your wife as well, so when you take her shopping.
Go to Wegmans.
And then I didn't want to even open this.
Is this the yard sale you were talking about?
This is the yard sale. I stopped at a yard sale on the way here. And in here is a mirror for you as well from Association of Counties. So just when you think you don't have friends in Albany, you do over on Broadway, known as NYSAC, okay?
Absolutely. Jack,
So,
thank you very much.
ladies and gentlemen, Jay is, again, he's an outstanding individual. I know you've certainly honored him at your legislative body. He's been a true public servant to this community, this region, and for someone who enjoys what he's done for a career, I wish you and your family nothing but the best in your retirement. God bless.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, next up we have our wonderful senator from Genesee County, our state senator, Mike Ranzenhofer. Mike's always done great wonders for our county in terms of economic development. I know transportation, I worked with him quite a bit when he was on on Transportation Committee, but he's been a big supporter of our county and is here to say a few nice words for Jay.
But even more important, he's typically at CMAC when I am. And we've taken a little activity in Jack's neck of the woods.
Thank you both. Well, it's great to be here, and I will stand 6 feet away from Jay so I can take my mask off and be properly socially distant. First of all, it's great to be out somewhere. These last 5 months have really been kind of like hibernation. We've had legislative sessions, but they've been remote, virtual, and I'm sure a lot of you are doing your Zoom calls, and everything is being done in a very different way. So it really feels great on a Friday afternoon to be able to come out to Genesee County and Batavia and see and be with and talk to and socialize with other people that I have come to love and have a great deal of respect for. None more than Jay. I have a nice proclamation here from the Senate on my behalf to talk about some of the great things that Jay has done. But it really has been a collective effort. In my 12 years as Senator, Jay and I have worked very closely on issues my very first year and up until this year trying to pass through legislation which was very, very important to all of Genesee County with respect to water and other things that we really relied on his expertise to get through. But many of you know Jay as a very hard-working county manager. He's very, very well respected, has a great deal of experience. But my best time spent with Jay are after midnight, after concerts at CMAC, when we've gone to a couple of concerts and have run into him. And I won't tell you the stories, they really are not appropriate for this venue. But let me tell you, they are fun stories. And Jay, I hope that you have a great retirement, that your days are filled with a lot of pleasure and joy, that we soon return to more normal times, and you can fully enjoy the great breadth and depth of retirement, spending with your friends and family and doing the things that you love to do. So, I'm not going to get closer than 6 feet, but I'm going to leave this proclamation here. Hopefully, you will add it to your treasures that you've received. But again, it's great for you to include me as part of the ceremony and really giving me an opportunity to express the great friendship and the great expertise that Jay has and the great service that he's provided for all the residents of this county for so many years. So please join me in congratulating once again our great county manager, Marie Gsell.
Thank you, Senator.
My pleasure.
All right, now I'd like to introduce finally our new congressman from the 27th District, Congressman Chris Jacobs. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. What a beautiful day to be here, and it's great to be here on this occasion. And I'm again Chris Jacobs, and honored to say I'm your new congressman. I've been in about 3.5 weeks now, so starting to get a lay of the land, and we're getting our offices back open and getting back to the business here in the district and also down in Washington, D.C. But it is an honor to be here today to present a commendation from the U.S. House of Representatives on this significant day of your retirement, Jay, and your career of service to this community, both professionally and governing, and the many other things you do for this community. And it's an honor to know you, and on behalf of the 27th Congressional District, please accept this accommodation on behalf of the citizens of the New York 27th Congressional District.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks, Chris. And welcome to the fold.
Thank you.
All right, next up is infamous Steve Hawley, our wonderful Assemblyman from the 139th. I did something in your honor today.
Uh-oh.
I know you're always sockless. The Rotary calendar guys have got to stick together. So
Hey, not for nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to mention that.
that was 15 years ago. Anyway, welcome
That's
up.
diplomatic immunity.
I don't know, can you all hear me with the mask on or no? Perfect.
This microphone has been up against the lips of many, and I'm not sure I want to do that, especially with Tim Hens. Yes, the Rotary calendar many, many moons ago, right, Jay?
Yep.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I'm not going to talk about it. I too have a Corinthian gold citation here. Jay and I have been Rotarians for many, many years together, and I can tell you that even though Rotary's motto is service above self, there's no one that has provided more service through the Rotary Club and to this community than Jay Gsell. And Jay doesn't stand there directing traffic. He doesn't say how many hot dogs to put in or on the grill. He doesn't talk about serving at our pancake breakfast. The guy is a workaholic, but I think those of you that know him realize that. He is a real asset not only to this community, but for all of the folks that live here. And I consider it a great honor to know him, to respect him, and yes, these days I can love him. So this is a citation from the State Assembly. I won't read it because it's hot, and we still have Jankowski to go and perhaps some others. I just consider it a real honor, Jay, to have you here, have you retiring, and continue to be part of this community.
Absolutely.
We love you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Gracias.
All right, next up is Gino Jankowski, our City of Batavia Council President, longtime servant of the city, and here to say goodbye to this compadre from the county.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I've worked with Jay on many different projects. I'm going to miss your enthusiasm and your energy. It's always been a pleasure to work with you. I hope you're going to stay on in the chamber and do your little show there. We always enjoy that every year. You always put on a great thing. And your service to the community, whenever things are going good, everything's fine. But when things get down, it's never been a problem for the city to contact you, and you've always given us all the help we needed. You've worked side by side with us.
Guy and all these other people.
Right, all the whole county, and you are the leader at that point. And I just wanted to thank you for that. As a city resident, I really appreciate all the work you've done. And on behalf of the city council, we have this proclamation. I'm not going to read it, it's too long, but it's so many accomplishments in there. Basically,
Will I recognize myself?
you will recognize yourself, and we thank you, and we wish you all the best of health and prosperity going forward. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Gina. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, thank you, thank you.
All right, now we'd like to invite a few of our legislative chairs and past chairs up for their own comments. Ms. Rochelle Stein, legislator from Leroy, our Genesee County legislative chairperson.
This is a really special day for us here in Genesee County, and this guy, I just want to say this guy, we all appreciate who he is and what he has brought to our lives, and if I could get this undone, it would make it easier. But Jay has been with us since 1993. He has served 6 legislative chairs and 39 different legislators, and I would tell you, most would say that he wore everyone down with his enthusiasm and his ability to just keep going. It was also noted this past week that in the control room that Jay has used up every single minute that is allotted to Genesee County for the next year. So Matt Landers going forward is going to landerize everything, which means it'll be short and sweet. Jay has maintained a very delicate balance with all of our friends at every level of government, and we appreciate that. Our county has grown in several projects. A new county court facility, a countywide water projects and upgrades, the county airport, a 40-year sales tax agreement, especially the sale of the nursing home and the CHA. And what that's done is that's allowed private business to flourish here in our county. He has many accolades that he has been awarded through his service above self, but it would be difficult for us to pass today without remembering the Wolcott Humphrey Award presented to Jay on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. Jay's left his imprint on each one of us through these projects, through our daily lives, and through the care and concern that he has for each person in this community. We are grateful. We are grateful, Jay. We are better for knowing you and for working with you. We thank you. And Anne-Marie, we thank you. These flowers are a simple thank you for the time of your life that you have shared with us here in Genesee County, because Jay kept you locked away. So many of us didn't have the opportunity to know you, but we want you to know how much you mean to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is Mary Pat here?
Yes.
Yep. Right there.
Oh, there she is. I'd like to welcome up Mary Pat Hancock, former chairwoman of the county. Served under Mary Pat for a long time, so has Jay. And we'd welcome her up here to let her pass on her comments.
Good to see you.
Well, this is a surprise for me as well as for you, but I'm delighted to be here. I certainly wasn't surprised at that. I knew Jay spoke about retirement, but those things you just put in the back of your mind. The day is not coming. It may have been just the reverse for Jay, but I'm not sure. 27 years ago was just about when I met him. And it was during interview process for the new county manager. He came to that interview with the proper experience, the education, the moral fiber, and we had no idea about the energy. But he certainly was the man for the job. And all of the issues, all of the concerns, all of the projects that have been mentioned by Shelley and others, he certainly put his heart and soul into it. He was 100% for the county. His time, his energy, all of his efforts. He was 100% for his family, where his love of his life lived, and he certainly gave all of his energy to them. And he loved his friends and his animals. And how did he do all that? 100%? No. I think I know. He just never slept. And he added at least 3 hours to every 24 with no foreseeable problem doing it. So I am sure that perhaps when he goes into retirement, he'll start with a nap. Maybe. I doubt. But it has been a pleasure to work with him for at least some of those 27 years. And I love the fact that no matter how difficult things got, I never saw him waste his time by losing his temper. Good disposition helps. Thank you for coming and honoring our county manager. I look forward to seeing Matt and know that he has certainly studied under an expert. So thank you.
I did see one of our other legislative chairs out there. In fact, I spoke to him before he walked into the enclosure. Bob Bausch, if you're out there, if you'd like to come up as one of the past chairpersons, I suppose is the correct term. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but
He's a good Catholic boy. He'll take that. Yeah, I'm sure he will.
I was just thinking, and I have thought for a long time, I've been connected with county government all my whole life because of my father and family and stuff and so forth. Back in the days when I was in college over 50 years ago, I took a course in county government. Don't ask me why I took it, but I took it. And they said at the time that that government was going to explode. There would be dependence on county government. Thinking back now 50 plus years, and looking what, and Jay was central in so much of this, but I mean, community college, new courthouses, airports, water, all those things have fallen onto the county government. And so many of them fell during Jay's X number of years. I can't add it up right now, but that's in here.
About 27.
27 we'll call it. But anyways, it's a completely different job than it was 50 years ago, and it's completely different than it was 27 years ago, just by looking around this county, and you can see it. Economic development's another big one. So, Jay, thank you. I enjoyed my 10 years in the legislature, and I appreciate your support during my years as chair. So, that, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anne Marie and Jay, you guys want to come up together here? For those of you that may or may not know, Jay and Anne Marie unfortunately lost their daughter Claire many years ago. We have a tree planted here in the triangle in her honor, and traditionally they have done a balloon launch many years here. Vicky's got some balloons, and we'd like to continue that tradition and launch some balloons in the honor of Claire.
Thanks, Joe. Got it.
What you have to understand is that the first year we did this, my mother in Virginia co-opted the whole program, so we had to drive to Williamsburg, Virginia to do this. That was not the intent. The intent was Claire was basically a Genesean like we are at this point. Gone to high school, gone to middle school, went to Oswego, graduated, came back here, and then started figuring out what she was going to do in her professional life. As it turns out, her consistent guidance in Batavia High School was Mary Hancock. And we always knew that when we got a phone call, it was because Claire had gone to her first before coming to us with regard to what was or was not appropriate. And she, including wrecking a car, and also hitting somebody else in the parking lot. In fact, I think it was B.R. DeWitt's wife. And so she always knew to go to Mary Pat first to sort of break the ice before she'd show up at home and tell us what really happened. And also, Rosalie McGuire, our insurance agent, had to keep changing the cars that were in our portfolio, because Claire went through 6 cars in 5 years at one point. Never got hurt, except when one of our sheriffs had to actually pull up to her on Dodgson Road, and her car was facing the opposite direction from when she was headed to Darien Lake to work out there. She went to avoid a squirrel and ended up wrapping herself around a tree. So needless to say, Frank Folletti also was our best friend as far as cars were concerned. But once again, what we've done is, because she was going to be, it was her 28th birthday, we decided that every year we put 27 balloons out. Her birthday is technically on September 6th. In this case, we're going to do it now because we figured, why not? This is our favorite place. So again, basically, folks, all we're doing is letting this sucker go. Hopefully, most of them will go out and up. And my apologies to people who think that we're polluting the air. But if you can get anywhere in this area over here, like where Greg Torrey and Rachel are, that's as good a place to release as any, because they're basically going to fly east, I think, when we let them go.
Ready, Vic? Yep.
All right, folks, just let them rip and let's see where they go. I'll let you know, there's more belly wind going this way. But they'll be here till Monday. Now occurring at your local tree. And thank you. Thank you. This has been something that we've been doing now consistently for 11 years. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Jason. Vicky and Sarah, thank you, as always. And I think now it goes to her, right? Is that next time?
Stay up here.
So we're getting near the end here. I did want to say special thanks to Vicky and Pam, Sarah, everybody else that worked on putting this together. I want to thank the facilities crew because the triangles never looked so good. They've been working tight this year on short budget, short staff, and they knocked it out of the park. Front of these two buildings look fantastic in honor of Jay. And a lot of that can be said, can go back to Paul Osborne, who works tirelessly to make that happen. So kudos to those people. But we are to the point now where Anne Marie gets the floor. She needs to be kind to Jay.
Oh no. Yeah.
No? Okay.
No, 40
It's all yours.
ago, made a commitment. That ain't happening.
This is actually 43 years in the making. And it's things you don't know about the personal life of the dean.
You gotta hold it up a little closer, baby. Or you take your mask off. You're so sure.
Okay. If you need to talk to Jay after the workday is over, you must do it during dinner, or else he will fall asleep in the middle of a conversation. If you become his next wife, be aware that your birthday, Valentine's Day, anniversary cards will 90% of the time feature a cartoon dog. If he adds a note to the card, don't worry that the only words you will be able to read are, "Love Jay." If you are having dinner with Jay and your napkin drops, by the time you sit back up from retrieving it, your plate and your glass are already in the dishwasher. Always, and this is important, go to the bathroom before sitting down to dinner with Jay if you want your plate to remain in front of you. If you'd like an enthusiastic conversation with Jay, bring up the Real Housewives franchise. Jay is a closet Real Housewives of New Jersey, New York, Orange County, and Beverly Hills fanatic. Please do not ever mention Vicki Gunvalson or Jay might attack you. We call the chair where he sits and watches TV the handicapped parking spot. Jay has never met a remote control that he can understand. He has mastered the toaster, but a remote control is his downfall. About a month ago, I was just shaking my sleepy head awake and I heard Jay on the phone. I realized that Jay had taken it upon himself to call Time Warner and get himself involved in our Wi-Fi service. Before I could get to him, he was saying thank you and goodbye, and my personal world imploded. Since that phone call, books take 15 minutes to download. My iPad and iPhone are no longer synced. And that damn buffering symbol is ever present on Hulu and Netflix. My 39-inch Amazon Fire television suddenly died, and yet Jay got this innocent look on his face, shrugged his shoulders with palms up and said, "It's not because of me." Jay scribbles passwords on scraps of paper that fly around the room anytime the door closes, and now that man has commandeered our Wi-Fi, my lifeline to the world. Technology is not Jay's friend. He once butt dialed me while he was at Wegmans. The call lasted 1 hour and 55 minutes. I heard the ping of every item he checked out. I heard the blinker when he was making a left-hand turn from Transit Road onto Route 5, all the way to the chiming of his car door opening in the driveway. So please, any of you who complain about his emails, try being linked to him electronically. So while I can do an hours-long act on Jay, there is another side to this relationship. 44 years ago, I was a single mother with a 2.5-year-old son, and I couldn't have chosen a better dad for my son. I can leave this earth knowing my son has Jay for a father. When Jay and I had our daughter in 1981, Jay's mother sent him flowers. This is a God's honest truth. I couldn't lie about this. She sent him flowers with a card that said, "We're so proud of you." Little did she know that 9.5 months earlier, it was I who attacked her precious baby boy on the sofa. He kept yelling, "You're going to give me the flu." But instead I gave him a 7-pound daughter. 43 years ago, I told Jay that the first time I married for love, the second time I would marry for potential. I was so green I married a public servant. We promised our daughter we would try to stay in Genesee County long enough to get her through high school, so her graduation was bittersweet for me. I knew Jay would start looking to relocate, so on interviews we went, and I managed to sabotage everyone by saying the most outrageous things to city councilmen and letting my verbal Tourette's loose on correcting interviewers' grammar. The only jobs he was offered were the ones I did not attend, like here in GC. When our daughter left us, I knew no matter what, 319 Washington Avenue was where I would reside wherever Jay went. So resume stopped, and we knew we were exactly where God wanted us to be. Even in the worst of jobs, Iowa, Jay and I have been blessed with great friends. We can proudly say we never burned a bridge and still have friends from every state we lived in. We both took our jobs seriously and every move. Jay was to run the city or the county to the best of his ability, and mine was to create a home and a circle of friends and to always protect our family. Jay, Gsell, and family were perfect at 4, but we're now mighty as 3. Thank you, Genesee County, for embracing us. I'd also like to say, since COVID, I have not kissed this man since March 13th. We don't use the same towels. He doesn't handle anything that I touch. And he moved into our spare bedroom with his girlfriend. I only got him back in our bedroom a couple weeks ago because I had the window air conditioning unit. But tonight I get to tell Jay's girlfriend, Alexa, cancel all the alarms. Thank you.
First kiss.
All right, you're last. These people have been working all day long.
You think?
They're hungry,
You think?
and he's got 6 sheets of paper.
I cut it down. It was only 12 initially, and it was a roll of toilet paper.
Floor is yours.
For one last time.
Yes, sir. Well, again, as I indicated, this has been 27 years in the making for us as far as my career, the penultimate part of our career and my career, where we've lived. We've never lived this long in the same community, never lived in the same house this long, either of us even growing up, in terms of Amory and Trenton, me, and various parts of North Jersey. And again, I think for me, and I've said this to people like Jason and Bill Reamson and others, I am so blessed that I have been working for the last 27 years for Genesee County. I spent my first 19 years working in city governments, arguing over ball fields, doing things in terms of, checking the lights at the pool, things of that nature. So moving up to the big time, so to speak, for me was a life-altering, but I think also life-affirming part of my career as a public servant. Again, when I went to graduate school and undergraduate school, I got a little taste of what government was like at the regional and the federal level, and decided that local government and what we do here, the teamwork, the collaboration, cooperation, how we get things done, is what I really wanted to do. It's how I was raised, and also what I think we as a group have come to both do very successfully, but be consistent, and be professional, and make a mark, however large or small it may be, and do it with the idea that as far as we are concerned, we are always passing on to the next legacy and to the next version of who we are, which I know, particularly with Matt and with Vicki and with Tammy Ferringer, the newest member of our county manager's department, that things not only are in very good hands, but they're in even better hands because of the new technology, the new perspectives, and what it is that it takes to do things now in the 21st century back to when I started in 1973, oh, those many years ago. Again, as far as we call this home, people keep saying, so where are you going next? When's the for sale sign? I said, there ain't no for sale sign. The house is paid off. The dogs are happy. Marie is reasonably happy, except, you know, when I get anywhere near the television or the remotes. And as far as we are concerned, Genesee County and coincidentally the city of Batavia are home, plain and simple. It's just that way, and that's how we are. I know initially we were somewhat considered. I remember my first meeting here was greeted by Florence Joya, asking who the legislature had found as a carpetbagger to come work here, and why couldn't they get somebody local? And we were upstairs here before air conditioning, and I was over to her left, and I just stood up and said, Mrs. Joy, I don't really know you, but I'm the carpetbagger. And I introduced myself. It might have been the only time I ever knew Florence that she didn't have a quick rejoinder or a somewhat marked word for anybody in the public sector, even though she was one of us, all things considered. So basically, what I would like to say is, I can't thank all of you enough. This is a very significant, but also very heartfelt send-off for us, and I really appreciate that. It's not what we are about. Marie is much more the outgoing person than I, based on her years of training in the theater and all the community theater she did here. And it is for me, though, a very mixed blessing to some extent, because even though I'm handing off to a fantastic team, it's going to be different come Monday for the first time in 46 plus years. And I'm not sure how I'll react to that, but I think I'll find a way. And I know that there's certain things like United Way and Rotary, and also Home Care and Hospice, that will keep me busy, at least on a volunteer basis. And as I told Gino, since I walk the streets of Batavia on a regular basis, I'm on weed patrol now. So, Kath, you don't have to worry about sending the city crew out. I'll take care of this side. You get them to just do the south side, okay? We'll be good, all things considered. So again, I want to thank everybody very much. It is truly an honor to serve all of us and serve with you as part of what is the public sector here in Genesee County in the city of Batavia. And basically, we're still going to be here. Just know that. And again, I can't thank you enough. And it has been an honor and a privilege to work for this public sector government here for pretty much more than half of my career. So thank you, and thank you.
All right, I was remiss before I did say thank you to Kevin Jackson, our audio DJ extraordinaire. And I did want to say thank you again to all of our honorable guests that came out today to say goodbye to Jim.